Hello, Keller Williams Young Professionals. I'm so excited to be with you today. My name is Jackie Ellis, and I'm actually from the beautiful area of South Florida, Palm Beach County to be specific. And today we're going to be presenting session 2 of Business by the Book. What we're going to cover today, the purpose, which is discover what drives you. We're going to talk about time blocking, that very misunderstood practice. And then the most important and fun part of our presentation today will be to talk about the 4 thieves that are coming your way to steal your time blocking. All of the efforts that you put into time blocking your schedule and your priorities, there are 4 thieves that are coming. So I'm going to present those to you. So let's get started. First thing we want to talk about is a magic formula. It's the 3 P's, and the 3 P's talk about purpose to priority to productivity. And if you have something to write with, go ahead and write those 3 words down: purpose, priority, and productivity. A lot of people make the mistake thinking that you'll start with productivity. Let's get busy, let's get some stuff going, and then we'll prioritize what we're going to do, and then that's going to lead us to a purpose in life. Well, we want to maybe change that thinking for you. So purpose is where you're going to start first. Gary Keller says, what's the one thing you want your life to be more about than anything else? That's the question he asks. So purpose is, we're going to discover what drives you. Don't be afraid to take some time out in your life to sit down and think about what actually drives you. And then once you find your purpose, you're going to it's going to be easier for you to find out what your priorities are. And then you'll see productivity in your life. Close your eyes and just picture your market center for a moment. Can you tell who is productive in your market center? Can you physically see productivity? On the screen right now, you see 2 icebergs. And you'll see that half of the iceberg is below the water and half of the iceberg is above the water. On the first diagram, we see that productivity is actually out of the water. So the answer is yes, we can see productivity. We can see that agent, and maybe it's you that's walking very fast with a purpose through the market center. We can physically see productivity. What you don't know is that that's being held up by priority. They know what their priority of that day, of that week, of that month is. And then as you can keep going down on the igloo, you'll see that at the very bottom, the entire igloo is held up by purpose. If we check out the igloo on the right, the one other thing that you can see physically is profit. But we don't get profit until we get productivity. That part makes sense. And we don't get productivity until we know what our priorities are. And we don't know what our priorities are until we know what our purpose is. So once again, we need to discover what drives us. What's the one thing you want in your life to be about more than anything else? During our full day experience of Business by the Book, when we bring it to you, we'll actually do an exercise together that's going to help you start to discover what your purpose is. And that's good. You'll walk out from that day knowing exactly where to start with your purpose. And I think that that's a gift. By the way, we're presenting material from Business by the Book that is right out of the book called The One Thing, which of course is written by Gary Keller and Jay Papasan. So all of this material can also be found in The One Thing. So if you have that book, dust it off, open it up, and start to maybe read and start to focus on what your purpose is. Okay, so let's talk about, once you know what your purpose is, we're going to set some goals. And again, a lot of people make a mistake. A lot of real estate agents and professionals make a mistake setting goals. What am I going to do today? Well, maybe we need to start to set goals a little bit bigger. What is our someday goal? What is your 10-year goal or someday? Just take a half a day and just sit down and start to journal this out. Where do you want to go? Where do you want to be in 20 years or in 15 years? And then break that down. Okay, if I want to be here in this place in 15 years, where do I need to be in 5 years? And then from there, where do I need to be in 1 year? 1 year from today, where do I need to be? And then if that's the case, where do I need to be a month from now? And you get it. It goes right down to the weekly goal and your daily goal. And so now, what do I need to do right this second? And when we say right now, we don't mean tomorrow. A lot of people hear right now and they think, okay, that's tomorrow. We're talking, what do you really need to do right now? This is called goal setting to the now. What's the one thing I can do for blank, such that by doing it, everything else will be easier or unnecessary? If you remember in section 1, we talked about your domino and how powerful your dominoes can be. Another quote that Gary Keller has said that has really impacted my life, and I can hear his voice saying it many times, is you're only 5 years from anywhere you want to be. I just wanted you to take a second. And actually, he says you're 5 years or less from anywhere that you want to be in your life. So how old will you be 5 years from now? Figure that out. Little math. And then do you know at that age, you can have and be anywhere you want to be financially, professionally, 5 years or even less. So the focusing question, once again, what's the one thing I can do for blank, whatever your goal is, such that by doing it, everything else will be easier or unnecessary? We call this the focusing question. And by the way, if you do happen to have your one thing book, I want you to write this page down. It will help you learn how to goal set to the now a little bit better. In your one thing book, it's page 151, where you go from big to small. And then you'll end up knowing exactly what you have to do now. Okay, so now let's talk about time blocking, because once we know what our priority is, we are going to have to figure out where to put it in our life. We're going to have to time block. And when we talk about time blocking, that means we are going to pull out some sort of a calendar and we're going to time block 3 things right away. The first thing you're going to time block is your time off. Now, this may seem very funny to do. If I'm going to time block my time off, how am I going to reach my goals? Well, top achievers always know that they're going to reach their goal because of time blocking, and they do want to block their time off for many reasons, so that they're energized, that they have family time, they're not missing important events. So make sure that you start by every year, every month, every week, time blocking your time off first. And then we're going to time block our one thing. What is that one thing for us? Is it getting so many listings? Whatever your one thing is what we're going to block the time off for next. And then very last, the third one is that we're going to time block our planning time. We're going to time block planning time every year. Usually that's in the month of October. You start to plan what you want to happen the following year. And then every month you're going to take an afternoon off and time block what you're going to plan for the following month. Where are you with your goals? What adjustments do you have to make? And then you're going to time block every week, and you're going to time block every day, with your one thing being the most important thing that you're going to block. And once you have your time blocked, you are going to protect it. This is not where you write it all down, close the book, and don't pay attention to it. Top achievers know that they protect their time block. They guard it. Now, having even said that, there are some things that might happen that's going to take it away. But before we learn about the 4 thieves, let's figure out, how do we protect our time block? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to build a bunker. Now, when you think bunker, what comes to mind? Exactly. We want to build something that is quiet so that we can walk in and get to work and start to do our one thing right away. Now, let me ask you a question. Can this bunker be in the middle of your market center? Well, the answer is it absolutely can be. Just make sure that everybody knows that this is your bunker and that this is your time. I've even seen a lot of agents put crime scene tape around their stools as they're right in the middle of the research area. So you do what you have to do, but you don't have to have a private area. So first thing is we're going to build a bunker. And the bunker is going to be, as you can see in the demonstration, there's not a lot of things on her desk. and she's just getting right to work. Whether you stand or you sit, you will be able to be focused in your time block time when you build a bunker. Second thing is we're going to store provisions, and that's exactly what it sounds like. We're going to bring in our water, whatever snacks we need. You know, there's nothing worse than getting started and you get in a little bit of a zone, and the next thing you know, oh, I'm thirsty, I need to walk out for some water. So get everything you need in your bunker that's going to give you that time where you can focus on that priority. The third thing we're going to need to do to protect our time block is sweep for mines. And of course, what does this mean? What is something that could be disruptive to you? If you have your computer on and it's emailing you and you're getting dinged and your texting is also dinging you and whatever else, for me personally, I have to make sure that my desk is clean because I'll reach over and see a document that I needed to take care of yesterday and I didn't. And the next thing I'm distracted and I'm not concentrating. So make sure that when you're entering your bunker, you do sweep for mines, shut the computer off, leave your phone outside, and use that special time to focus on whatever your priority is. So already we've built our bunker, we've learned to store provisions, and we did sweep for mines so that we wouldn't be distracted. And the fourth and last thing we're going to do to protect our time block is to enlist support. We want people to know that this is our time. If you have an assistant, your assistant's job is to guard you and protect you. If you don't, that's fine. Just tell your coworkers and your agent partners that this is your time. Put a sign on your door. Do whatever you have to do. Enlist your support. Tell your team leader what you're up to. That'll help hold you accountable. So build a bunker, store provisions, sweep for mines, enlist support. Why do we do those things to protect our time block? Well, the world doesn't know your purpose or your priorities, only you do, so it's up to you to make them happen. All right, I mentioned there's 4 thieves that are coming your way, and these 4 thieves are going to try to take, even though you've done all the things to protect your time block, there are 4 thieves coming to try to take it away from you, and they're very clever thieves. So the first one is the inability to say no. The second one is the fear of chaos. Third one is poor health habits. And the fourth one is that your environment may not support your goals. So let's just talk about each one, starting with the inability to say no. Everybody knows Steve Jobs, that Steve Jobs was the head of Apple, and he was actually fired from his own company. And then eventually Steve was rehired back when they decided that they really needed him back. And when he walked into Apple, I don't know if you realize this, but there were 350 different products being developed. Now, when we say 350 different products, I want you to know that each product had probably a team working on them and a lot of money going towards it. The products may have been in development for years. So when Steve Jobs returned and took those 350 products down to simply 10 products, you realize those were big changes and they were not easy decisions for him. Now, one of the 10 products was the iPod. So how do you think that worked out for that company? Was the inability to say no when he threw that out the door and began to say no, was that worthy? Did that work for that company? When's the last time you said yes to something that you really knew was going to distract you and take you off of your focus and your goal? The inability to say no to things will come between you and the success that you deserve to have. Now, this is a learning curve for all of us. Often say yes myself to things, and we're all going to just keep learning this and keep reading this and keep remembering goals first. That doesn't mean you have to say no to everything, but only after your priority, your focused goal is taken care of. When you say yes to something, it's imperative that you understand that you are actually saying no to something. Just make sure that that no isn't to you. Thief number 1 is the ability to say no. Thief number 2 is the fear of chaos. while you're in your bunker and you're focusing on your priority, the world outside is going to begin to pressure you. Voicemails are going to start coming in. Texts are going to start coming in. Pressure's mounting in the form of people knocking on your door, people wanting answers. And the longer you're in this zone, the more chaos is going to start to happen. And we as productive people tend to fear this, and we will break out of our time block very, very quickly because of a little chaos. Just know, when you're in a busy, productive mode, things are going to get chaotic. Your desk is going to get messy. Things are not going to be perfect. It's okay. The deeper you commit to your one thing, the more the pressure mounts for you to come up for air and address everything that you put on hold. It will be there after your time. So don't fear chaos, because this fear of chaos is the thief number 2 that will steal your productive time. Thief number 3 are poor health habits. The highly productive person's daily energy plan. Let's go over that together. Number 1, you wake up in the morning and you meditate and pray for spiritual energy. We're going to need that spiritual energy every day. Eat right, exercise, and sleep sufficiently for physical energy. And I want to slow down on that sleep sufficiently. I think a lot of us can't get up in the morning because we perhaps going to bed a little too late at night. I want to encourage you to change a little something in your life when it comes to sleeping, and maybe not concentrate so much on setting the alarm in the morning, but have an alarm that you set to get yourself in bed at a decent hour. Sleeping is an art. I actually wish they would hire me to teach a class on sleeping, because I really have a lot of content on that. Number 3, hug, kiss, and laugh with your loved ones for emotional energy. Number 4, set goals. Here's that planning time again, and we're going to calendar it for mental energy. And then finally, we want to time block our one thing for our business energy. So, highly productive person's daily energy plan includes planning for spiritual energy, physical energy, emotional, mental, and then again, business energy. If we don't plan these out right and have our energy plan executed, we might end up with poor health habits, which will drain our energy and therefore rob us of our goals. Fourth and final thief is the environment does not support your goals. The foundation of your one thing or your priority is your environment. Who are the people that support you, both at home and at work? Does your physical space support you? Because your one thing and your one goal will only be held up if these people and this place are both in line to support you. So take a few minutes to look around your environment and talk to the people that are in your life to make sure that you are all on the same path and all have the same goal. So we today just looked at a little snippet of the course called Business by the Book. We would love to bring it to your market center or your region. So how do you do that? You can email admin@businessbythebook.com. You can call 512-649-3113. And one of the most talented instructors that our company has to offer will appear in either your market center or your region and take a full day to teach you business by the book. The first half of the day is going over the One Thing book, which we looked at today. And then the second half of the day is, of course, diving into the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book, and MREA Edition 2 will actually give you some sneak peeks into that. So again, my name is Jackie Ellis, and it's been an honor to present to you. I hope you were able to get a little tidbit today. And more than that, I hope that I've encouraged you to pull out your One Thing book and start to read it. Thank you again.